Wow, what a fucking dope interview that was. Let's talk about it. My 2 cents, motherfucker. Okay, so first we're going to get it out of the way because I know people want to know what I thought about it. I know most people probably expected it was going to come up. I knew it was going to come up. ICP themselves knew it was going to come up. My thoughts on the whole Twisted thing, there's nothing new there. They basically repeated everything that they had stated in the Faygo Lovers interview. One thing that I liked better about this shoot interview when they addressed the whole Twisted thing was they were more calm and collective. I think doing that Faygo Lovers interview, they were nervous, they were emotional, and it showed in just the way that they were trying to talk about everything that had happened, everything that was going on. You could tell high emotions, very nervous, high nerves at the time is what I meant to say. Just, they knew what they were getting ready to dive into was about to significantly change everything in the Juggalo world. So it's been 3.5 years since that happened. And they were more collective and calm and, I feel like they were able to really speak on it better than they did in the Faygo Lovers interview. But like I said, really nothing new came out of them being asked about the whole Twisted situation. It confirmed things for me of how I feel about them and how that they are different. And they're doing what I'm doing. They're just kind of moving on from it. So that was probably like the best thing I can say about the whole Twisted thing is they're doing what they should do. They're moving on. They're just kind of leaving it behind them, which, is dope in a certain sense because they ain't going to let it hold them back. They're not going to let it keep bringing them down. They're basically turning the page on that chapter of their careers and looking to the horizon, which, I mean, it's really what a lot of juggalos should do. Like, just give up on Dark Lotus reunion, give up on a Psychopathic Riders reunion, just give up on them reuniting in the first place, If it happens, it happens, but don't hold your breath for it, guys. Let's move on. You like Twisted, you like Twisted. If you like ICP, you like ICP. Let's move on from it. And that, I love that they mentioned that in there. That's where I'm at with it. So loved hearing them say that's where they're at. But the other big points that I really wanted to talk about, probably one of the biggest things that I wanted to know that they answered in that interview was the whole Alex situation. Everything I'd always heard about it was as he just disappeared and like a snake, he took millions of dollars. So to kind of hear the story of like how that all kind of unfolded and happened was like, it kind of gave me closure. Not that I really needed closure. Like, okay, Alex Abyss is gone. I think he was always in it for the investment that he offered up in the first place. And I think they kind of mentioned that it wasn't really his dream. It was, for him, it was an investment opportunity. And when the time came, from the timeline of when this is all being told, I'm guessing this is around 2006, 2007 that he finally exited, which makes sense because you had a lot of things come out. They were talking about once Alex was gone and Billy Bill filled the role, that's when they were starting to do radio shows because they always wanted to, and they were doing other things that they wanted to do, but they couldn't. And that 2007 is when W Fuck Off Radio really took off and they had radio shows. So that kind of gives that timeline of when all that really unfolded. 2008 then would see ABK come back. It's been revealed in the past through ABK, through different interviews, that basically AA was his main reason for leaving. There was some shitty deals done with ABK, and that was ultimately what led him to leave. If I'm incorrect on that information, drop it down below. Make sure you correct me. I don't want to spread misinformation, but I do believe that was ABK's reason for leaving, was a bad dealing that happened with Alex and being screwed out of money and shit. So, yeah. So the whole Alex Abyss thing, that was probably my biggest question. One of my biggest questions going into that interview. The one that I really didn't expect, because I made a video about it where I basically had said that I had a feeling there was never going to be another one. Tom Wood himself had commented, it was either on that or another post I had made of some kind, but Tom Wood had said that the DCG Con will continue, and Jump Steady confirmed that it will continue. They basically had planned to take a year off in 2019. They were planning to do one for this year, but obviously COVID has fucked everything up. So the chances of seeing another DCG Con are looking pretty good. That made me happy. And hearing them talk about other juggalos telling them about the experience of the DCG Con versus the Gathering, like, perfectly explained it for me. You know, Jump Steady was saying that he's had ninjas tell him that at the gathering we're all kind of looking at a stage, whereas at the DCG Con we're all kind of looking at each other, which is true to a certain point because the gathering is not always just about the shows, and they've mentioned that in that shoot interview as well. That the gathering, there's a lot of people that go there that don't even watch shows, and actually at the Super Gathering there was a lot of acts that Megs and I didn't even go watch because climbing that hill was such a royal bitch that it was like, how badly do we want to see these acts? You know, because we'd have to climb up that hill and basically camp up by main stage all fucking day because that hill just wore you out. And so we missed a lot of acts because of that. And we still had a great time because we spent a lot of time kicking it with Shanti, kicking it with Coma. Coma actually camped with us, which was great. Hopefully in the future we can like coordinate ahead of time and actually camp together. That would be pretty dope because that was definitely one of the big things I loved about the Super Gathering was kicking it with Coma for that weekend. So hearing them talk about Juggalos, tell them that that's their experience with the DCG Con, it tells me that they are now aware of how meaningful it is to them. So maybe they'll definitely keep it going. Which again, they've confirmed that it's gonna continue. They took a year off, and obviously COVID did what it diddly did to all of us. So DCG Con's still happening. He actually said his goal with the Dark Carnival games is to have a new game come out every DCG Con, and that he's currently working on 3. Now, I'm just going to throw pure speculation out there because pure speculation. I'm going to say we're probably going to end up with another expansion pack for Into the Echo Side. I should say I hope another expansion pack for Into the Echo Side. The board game Bazaar was something they announced at the second DCG Con. So that would definitely be one that I want to look forward to. You guys know the anniversary of Bizarre Bazaar is coming up. I did a clip that I shot for the homie Brandon Ward, who's putting together a documentary that will drop on Halloween over on the Faygo Lovers YouTube channel. And in it, I talk about like how much I love the packaging for Bizarre Bazaar and the fact that they're going to make a whole board game out of that board game that was in Bizarre Bazaar. Can't fucking wait. So that's definitely one of the games I think they're working on. And the third one, I'm absolutely no idea what it could be. Maybe in another expansion pack for Juggalos Against Sanity. But I would definitely say we'll get one new game. We'll get an expansion pack either for one of the games that already exist or for both. That's how I'm going to chop it up. And Jump Steady had said that the goal would be to have every DCG Con have a new game come out or build onto a game that already exists. So expansions will definitely be a thing. I don't know. I would kind of like to see like a re-release or a what do you call a remake of Quest for Shangri-La. There's new cards that they could make with new artists. There's new Joker cards that have come out. There's new ways they could build onto that game, and maybe make an expansion for Quest for Shangri-La. I don't really know how that would work. Actually, there was a game that they talked about that Shaggy used to play on the road with 2 Trouble games, and I'm drawing a blank on what that was called. If somebody remembers the name of that game, drop it in the comments down below. So yeah, the DCG Con definitely going to continue. That made me happy. Knowing that they're going to continue to release Dark Carnival games makes me happy because while some people out there that live beneath the dirt don't like the games, there are a lot of us out there that do love the games. So that made me happy. That wasn't a distant round bone. That was just me trying to be punny, and it wasn't very, punny, I guess. And so really probably the only other thing that was like my highlight of the shoot interview was pretty much them confirming that they are focused on ICP, that they are done signing artists, which they've stated this in the past. They have affiliates. They actually claim that there's only one artist signed, and that's Ouija Mac, which, I mean, if you've got somebody who can hustle and grind the way that Ouija Mac does, I guess you would kind of want to hold on to that talent and have him still stamped with the Hatchet Man. That's just common sense. But they pretty much confirmed there's only one artist signed to Psychopathic Records. Psychopathic Records is purely focused on ICP, which I've made videos in the past stating that I wanted them to do that anyway. So I ain't mad at that. You know, a lot of people are kind of like, is this the end of Psychopathic Records? Blah blah blah. Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? If they're focusing on ICP, I'm happy. I'm sure a lot of people aren't, but I'm happy because they've already catapulted so many artists' careers, and their legacy, Psychopathic's legacy, literally reigns on through the artists that they've helped launch careers for. Anything and everything MNE accomplishes from the time of its creation until the time that it closes its doors is associated to Psychopathic Records, because they wouldn't have got where they were if it wasn't for that Hatchet Man. So it lives on through MNE. It lives on through Light Success, which Shaggy flat out fucking like put Light on blast that he loves Light, but damn is his like motivation like low. And we all know that now. I mean, come on, he's been talking about his new album for years now, and all we've ever gotten out of him from Psychopathic was an EP. So, you know, through all the artists that they've helped, as long as they continue and they become successful, that's Psychopathic's legacy right there. So if they're focused on ICP, I'm happy. But those right there, those are definitely some of the highlights I've taken from the shoot interview. You know, hearing that they're in the same mindset as me with the whole Twisted situation, cool. Don't let that shit weigh you down. Too many motherfuckers are. Learning about what happened with Alex Abyss really gave me closure that I didn't need, but kind of knowing what happened, you know, makes sense. So, and then of course, you know, just hearing them focusing on them, great. Like, I've made a couple videos here lately that showed some doubt, and through the ICP's house party, they've squashed all my doubt. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, you know. Maybe I need to lay off watching Beneath the Dirt, because I feel like he's sipping on some haterade lately, man. I go into his episodes and he just starts like doubting, down talking, and just you know, with ICP, and it's like, Roan, what's going on with you, man? I love his shit, I love his content, but like every time ICP comes up on his podcast, it's like 90% of the time negative shit, and I don't like it. And maybe that's what rubbed off on me and made me make some of my videos. So I don't know. Like, I just watched his latest podcast, and he was saying that he wasn't feeling the ding ding dong. And I'm like, dude, that fucking song's great. I love it. But I mean, he's open, and he has his opinions, and I can't hate on him for that. It just seems like he's so negative with ICP, and it's like, man, if this is how you feel about him, just like focus your attention on the shit you do like, you know? Like, don't let that shit weigh you down. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the shoot interview. I thought it was a great watch. Like, the entire 3.5 hours of that shoot interview, my attention was fully on that fucking interview. So some great information came out. There was some great questions in there too. So yeah, if you have access to go watch it, definitely set aside the time, give it your full attention, because it was a great watch. So I'm glad that I got to check it out. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Leave your thoughts down below. What do you guys think about the information that was leaked or that was talked about during the shoot interview? I thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time.